President Biden promotes railway spending at an Amtrak facility in Bear. Plus, Delaware's school choice window is officially open, but there's some changes you're going to want to know about before you start the process. And the city of Wilmington may help you buy a first home or make repairs to your house. Details on the new program. Those stories and much more straight ahead tonight on DETV News. Good evening and welcome to DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks for being with us tonight. Making headlines today, President Joe Biden returned home here to Delaware and Amtrak on Monday to promote $16 billion for passenger rail projects expected to generate 100,000 union jobs. Speaking at the Amtrak maintenance facility in Bear, the president outlined federal investments for rail travel along the busiest Northeast corridor.
When I talk about how Battery Northeast Corridor needs upgrades, you don't need to tell me. I've lived it.
Biden is said to have racked up 2 million miles on Amtrak between Washington and Wilmington in his years as senator. The funding for the rail projects comes from nearly $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill that Biden signed nearly 2 years ago. Amtrak will receive a total of around $66 billion in investments. And those of who dream of owning your first home or making much needed repairs to your current one may soon get some assistance from the city of Wilmington. Those who are income eligible could receive $15,000 to help with the purchase of a new home in the city or $10,000 for repairs to your existing home. $2 million is available for both programs in total, which were agreed to and funded by the administration and the City Council in the 2024 budget discussions. The Wilmington First Start Homebuyer Program will begin accepting applications on Monday, November 13th. To apply, home buyers must call the city's customer service center, that's 311. Those outside city limits must call the number seen here on your screen. City officials set aside $500,000 for this program. The Wilmington Homeowners Repair Program is funded by roughly $1.7 million and will be distributed through 2 lotteries, one in December and one in March of 2024. City officials said roughly 85 homeowners will be selected in each lottery. To register, again, call 311 between December 1st and December 15th. The lottery will be held on December 20th. Details of the programs, including income eligibility charts, are available on the city's website. Switching gears now, police are looking for a man they say held up a liquor store at gunpoint down in Milford. The suspect, who police describe as a white man wearing dark clothing and sunglasses, demanded cash as he held a gun to an employee of the liquor stop. That's on South Rehoboth Boulevard. The robber left with an amount of cash. Police have been unable to find him, though. Anyone with information on this heist can contact Detective Hickman by calling 302-752-3856, or you can send a private Facebook message to the Delaware State Police. And a tradition in North Wilmington that dates back to at least the 1960s has been canceled. St. Helena's Church Parish Council made the decision to bring an end to the springtime carnival for good. Many say the increased crime is the cause. On the last night of the carnival earlier this year in 2023, a group of young people reportedly climbed the fence surrounding the carnival when they were discovered without wristbands denoting that they had paid admission. They were ejected for that. Officials said that a group walked over to a nearby Wawa and ransacked the store and threw items from the store at vehicles moving across Philadelphia Pike. Other churches around the diocese have also canceled their carnivals as well, but they continue to happen at St. Anthony's in Wilmington. The Italian Festival is, as you know, one of Delaware's most popular annual events, along with St. John the Beloved in Milltown and St. Joseph's in Middletown. In other news, Delaware's Government Ethics Agency has found Agriculture Secretary in violation of law for entering into a no-bid agreement with the Department of Agriculture employees to care for seized farm animals. The commission ruled that Michael Skews improperly paid over $90,000 to an employee for poultry care, violating laws against state employees assisting private enterprises and conducting themselves in a way that raises suspicion. His top deputy, Jimmy Croon, also violated state law by entering into a $10,000 agreement for pig care. While some allegations were dismissed, the commission noted collaboration among employees and the disregard of advice from Deputy Attorney General. Skews defended the action, citing a shortage of facilities for seized animals, but the commission found his emergency authority claims unpersuasive. Both officials are unlikely to face punishment beyond the commission's reports. And Delaware is facing a delicate balance between environmental preservation and energy accessibility. This was discussed in an informal meeting held Monday night. Proposed legislation aims to reduce gas-run car sales while promoting solar and wind energy for electricity. One meeting attendee expressed concerns about state-mandated renewable energy, emphasizing the importance of market rates. Public comments will influence the governor's council, whose recommendations will guide plans by the Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control. House Bill number 99 sparked some controversy, blending environmental goals with potential impacts on electric bills and vehicles. Another attendee there advocated for local representatives' involvement rather than government mandates. DENREC assures public input is considered in updating the emergency plan, emphasizing the integration of climate and energy planning. Another meeting is scheduled down in Sussex County for next Wednesday at 5 p.m. That's going to be held at the Cheer Community Center in Georgetown. Monday marked the first day of Delaware's school choice window, allowing parents to file applications to send their children to a school outside of their neighborhood. The window will stay open through January 10th of 2024. Officials say there's about 25,000 applications submitted each year. Delaware now requires students to be registered in their district of residence before choice applications can be accepted. Even if a parent has no intention of sending their child to their assigned residential school, they still must go through the registration process. Delaware does not have a universal registration process, but it does have universal choice applications. Each district has a different online process, so parents, you must check the district's website for what you need to do. Some students who apply will get preference if they have a sibling in that same school or if they live within a 5-mile radius of the school that they're applying to. Families will be informed of a decision sometime in February of 2024 and will then have until March 15th to decide where their child will attend school next year. Schools that get more applications than they have seats usually start a wait list. This is because sometimes their accepted students choose another school. To apply to a district or charter school, visit the state's school choice portal. And many hunting seasons will open throughout the state in this month of November, including general firearm and shotgun deer, waterfowl, and small game. The popular deer season, also known as shotgun season, runs from Friday, November 10th, that's this Friday, through Sunday, November 19th. That was announced by the Delaware Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control, also known as DENREC. More information on hunting licenses, the state waterfowl stamp, and dates for various animals is available at de.gov/hunting. And finally tonight, you can join our friends at DART in celebrating 26 years of partnership with the Delaware Food Bank for the annual Stuff the Bus Thanksgiving Food Drive. Bring non-perishable items to help DART achieve its goal of collecting 20 tons of food for Delawareans in need of assistance. More than 100,000 Delawareans, including 30,000 children, are food insecure. That's according to the Food Bank of Delaware. DART will be out at locations all week Tomorrow, they will be collecting from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the ShopRite at the First State Plaza. That's at 1600 West Newport Pike. And then on Thursday, the bus will be stationed in Rodney Square, right near our studios. That's going to be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. as well. For a list of much needed items and more details, visit dartfirststate.com. A 32-year-old Dover man has been sentenced to life plus 70 years for a brutal assault and murder. Ronald Suber was convicted of the 2021 murder of Anna Hurst and the attempted murder of Brian May. The group ran a catalytic converter theft ring. Suber believed that Hurst provided police with information. Back on August 20th of 2021, Suber picked up Hurst and May and drove to a cornfield alongside Dyke Branch Road. After accusing Hurst of being a narc, he shot her in the head and the chest. May was shot in the foot as he ran from the scene. Suber returned to Hurst and beat her to death with a tire iron. Suber was found guilty of murder in the first degree, attempted murder first degree, as well as 2 counts possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, tampering with a witness, and conspiracy in the second degree. And in other news, the city of Wilmington is considering reducing parking fines to ease the financial burden on lower-income residents. Under a proposal by City Councilwoman Maria Cabrera, fines would start at $25 for a 2-week grace period before rising to the standard $40 rate for another 3 weeks. After 6 weeks, fines would increase by $20 increments. Cabrera says the grace period aims to be user-friendly for families that are struggling financially. The city estimates offering the discount could cost $150,000 per year. The measure follows Mayor Mike Przicki's call last year to lower fines from $40 down to $25 permanently, a move the city said would cost them over $500,000 annually. The City Council has been examining fines and fees in a series of meetings. Cabrera argues many who don't pay the tickets are poor, not scofflaws. The discount proposal goes before the full council on November 16th. Switching gears now, a Delaware State University professor will receive more than $1 million from the U.S. Department of Education to certify more special education teachers here in the state of Delaware. DSU Assistant Professor of Special Education, Dr. Rachel Jurgensen, said the program is intended for teachers already in the classroom and will include 5 courses that are focused on evidence-based practices for students with disabilities. The grant will pay for the classes, books, testing fees, and other associated costs for the teachers. Delaware is facing a shortage of special education teachers, according to DSU, with 165 vacancies as of the summer of this year. Also at Delaware State University, NASA has awarded a 3-year grant worth nearly $900,000 to contribute to engineering and optics expertise to the future Land Rover mission on the Moon. Dr. Mohammed Khan, Director of Physics and Engineering Program, along with Dr. Yuri Markushin, Associate Professor, are the principal investigators. The researchers will design and develop infrared sensing and laser technology that will detect and compare water isotypes with the characteristics of lunar rocks and dust. DSU science students will be engaged in different parts of the project, including assisting with the design of it. The grant is part of a $14 million that NASA is investing in U.S. colleges and universities. Sticking with education news, for the first time in more than a decade, taxpayers in the Red Clay Consolidated School District will decide on a capital referendum. The State Department of Education has approved a certificate of necessity allowing for $289 million in capital projects in 29 schools. Under the state funding formula, the state pays for somewhere between 40 and 70% of the projects, with local taxes making up the remainder. If passed, district residents would pay an average of $404 over the next 3 years. That would include $242 more in fiscal year 2025 and $81 more in fiscal year 2026. The vote is set for February 28th, 2024. The district will hold a number of community awareness events in the coming months to make sure that residents know how the money will be used. The request includes $61 million for capital improvements, $205 million for deferred maintenance, and $23 million for programmatic costs. And Brandywine School District taxpayers will also decide whether to raise local property taxes to fund schools. The Board of Education is set to vote next week on a plan to raise property taxes by a total of 45 cents per $100 of assessed value, either all in 1 year or spread out over 2 years. Brandywine's last operating referendum was held in 2016 when a 28-cent increase was approved. The new funding would allow the district to keep up with increased operating costs as the student population grows and deal with a worsening teacher shortage. The district also plans to increase safety and security by hiring more constables and technology upgrades like new Chromebooks for students. In a bid to enhance connectivity and recreational opportunities, the Delaware Department of Transportation has formally submitted a request for federal funding that could potentially more than double the length of the existing Wilmington Riverwalk. The proposed extension aims to create a new thoroughfare for cyclists, runners, and pedestrians, stretching beyond the train station and encircling the 7th Street Peninsula. The department is seeking a substantial sum of $12 million from the U.S. Department of Transportation. Recipients are expected to be announced in 2024. The funding would facilitate the design phase and environmental review necessary for the extension. The grant application also includes a forward-thinking initiative allocating $500,000 for an on-the-job training program aimed at women, people of color, and individuals with previous incarceration history during the project's implementation. And listen to this one. In an extraordinary gesture, officials from the London Parade Festival extended a personal invite to the Odessa High School Marching Band to participate in the prestigious London New Year's Day Parade 2025. Odessa High School, a relatively new institution that opened its doors just 3 years ago, caught the attention of Duncan Shadees, former Lord Mayor of the city of Westminster and great-grandson of Winston Churchill. Already taking proactive measures, the band, along with its parent booster club, has initiated fundraising efforts to defray the costs associated with this international trip. That's exciting. And Delaware State University held its first Black Farmers Conference today at its Dover campus. The College of Agriculture, Science, and Technology partnered with the First State African American Farmers Association to offer 2 days of demonstrations, panel discussions, and workshops. The idea grew from discussions on how to best address the needs of today's African American farmer. That's according to Cherise Winstead, who's Dean of the College of Agriculture.
Important for us to be in partnership with the First State African American Farmers Association, just to show how intentional we are about that relationship. Their problems are our problems, and we have a cooperative extension role, which means that we service our local farmers. So if there is a pain point that they're experiencing, it is our responsibility to fill that gap. And so this conference is really the fruit of all of those discussions over the last year and a half, and we hope the discussion will continue even after today.
The conference continues through Thursday. And moving to Sussex County, the Sussex County Economic Development officially opened its kitchen incubator in support of culinary entrepreneurship. In place of a ribbon-cutting ceremony, officials broke bread on the new facility at Delaware Technical Community College in Georgetown this week. The kitchen incubator provides a shared kitchen space combined with business assistance to help aspiring and existing entrepreneurs build food companies, create jobs, improve healthy food access, and strengthen the regional food economy. The building provides around 1,800 square feet of space, equipped with all a food entrepreneur needs, including storage, all necessary equipment, and tools for food prep, cooking, baking, and presentation. The goal is to remove high-cost barriers to culinary startups. For more information on the Kitchen Incubator of Sussex County, you can visit their website, seen there on your screen. And staying in Sussex, the Southern Delaware Tourism Office has launched a new website to showcase restaurants, breweries, and farmers markets in Sussex County. The website, called Culinary Coast, seeks to capitalize on Southern Delaware's growing culinary attractions. The growing population has helped fuel an increase in restaurants, while wineries and distilleries expand and farmers markets feature the region's agricultural products. CulinaryCoastDE.com seeks to encourage visits to the area and assist in travel planning. The website will also include information on agritourism, as well as a blog with guest posts from Culinary Coast chefs and entrepreneurs. And finally tonight, you can join our friends at DART in celebrating 26 years of partnership with also our friends at the Delaware Food Bank for the annual Stuff the Bus Thanksgiving Food Drive. You can bring non-perishable items to help DART achieve its goal of collecting 20 tons of food for Delawareans in need of food assistance. More than 100,000 Delawareans, including 30,000 children, are food insecure. That's according to the Food Bank of Delaware. DART will be out at locations throughout the state all this week. Today, they were collecting food in First State Plaza at 1600 West Newport Pike. On Thursday, the bus will be stationed in Rodney Square, right near our studios. That's going to be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
And we're celebrating our 26th annual Stuff the Bus Thanksgiving Food Drive. We are here at the Stanton ShopRite. We'll be here until 4 o'clock today, and we're collecting as many non-perishable food items as possible, which will be donated to the Delaware Food Bank. Please come out. It's a beautiful day. We're also going to be at Rodney Square tomorrow from 9 to 4, and also at the ShopRite on Route 202 on Friday, also from 9 to 4. We'll also have an event on Saturday morning at the Four Seasons ShopRite on Route 896, and we will hope to get at least 20 tons of food. So please come support us, and hope to see you there. Happy holidays.
Topping the news, Newcastle County Police say a Claymont man who was paid to help refugees raped several victims instead. Under arrest and charged with multiple counts of rape is 40-year-old Asdula Padres. According to police, the victims were part of a nonprofit resettlement program, and Padres was assigned to their cases. He reportedly asked several females on dates, made inappropriate comments, sent messages at inappropriate times, and showed up at homes unannounced. Investigators say when the victims refused, he would retaliate by not handing over needed documents and permits. Worse, police say he sexually assaulted multiple victims multiple times. Police fear there may be more victims in this case, so the investigation continues. Meanwhile, Padres is now behind bars in lieu of $275,000 cash bail. Moving to Sussex County, a 75-year-old Frankford woman is dead after her car struck a home yesterday. Police say the woman, who has not yet been identified, was driving on Route 113 when, for unknown reasons, her car went off the road and struck the side of the house. She was taken to an area hospital where she died from her injuries later that night. No one else was hurt. Police are asking anyone who witnessed the accident to call Delaware State Police or Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen. And police report another case of road rage, this time in Newark. Delaware State Police say 34-year-old Joseph Bartell used a BB gun to shoot out the window of a pickup truck. That truck was merging into a lane of a construction zone on South Chapel Street when it slightly hit the bumper of Bartell's SUV. According to police, that's when Bartell used a BB gun. Tonight, he faces charges of aggravated menacing, reckless endangering, and criminal mischief. He was arraigned on and released on an $8,000 unsecured bond. On a lighter note, Newcastle County Police brought smiles to the faces of little girls last night. The Princess Ball was held at the Waterfall Banquet Hall in Claymont. The girls arrived on a fancy party bus. It was a time for them to come dressed in their best and to be escorted into the hall by police officers who made each one feel like a special princess. A spokeswoman for the department called the magical night something the girls and the officers look forward to each year.
So we are here today at the 2023 Police and Princess Ball. This will be our 5th annual, and we are here to celebrate the girls from our community and to build those lasting relationships with them, and to also establish some new relationships. The reason that we started this was because we know and understand that it's a little difficult to have a program for girls. Like, you know, a lot of times people are like, well, what do we do with girls? So we came up with this Police and Princess Ball. This year just happens to be a sneaker ball, so you'll see lots of girls with their sneakers on. And again, it's just a way for us to build those relationships with kids and make sure that it's positive and lasting.
In other news, $3 million in federal funding is headed to Wilmington to help address the city's aging wastewater infrastructure. Mayor Mike Krzyzewski made the announcement, thanking President Biden and Delaware's congressional delegation for helping to secure the funds. The EPA grant will allow the city to improve and extend the life of the water system in the Prices Run area while reducing localized flooding. The stormwater and sewer system was originally built back in the early 1900s and is in need of repairs. Also in Wilmington, Mayor Krzyzewski and members of Newcastle County Chamber of Commerce attended a ribbon-cutting ceremony today. It took place at a warehouse for Golo, a health and wellness solutions company. The new facility on South Heald Street will be a distribution point for weight loss products, exercise equipment, and a new line of Golo's frozen meals. Legislative Hall in Dover is getting a makeover. The price tag, $122 million. The new renovations will include additions to the hall and a 350-car parking garage. The plan calls for a 3-story addition, a new public entrance, along with additional public meeting and staff places. The project is still on paper now, but completion is projected to be at the end of 2028. The Delaware State Fire Marshal's office is crediting a working smoke detector for alerting occupants of a house near Fenwick Island about a fire this morning. The fire on Mallard Drive was reported around 7 a.m. Arriving firefighters found smoke and flames coming from the 1-story building. Officials blamed an electrical malfunction for sparking the blaze. It caused about $85,000 in damages. There was a special sight to see on the Cape May Lewis Ferry today, a 13-foot tall bronze statue of Harriet Tubman, the woman who risked her own life by leading dozens of slaves to freedom. The so-called Beacon of Hope boarded the ferry on a giant trailer. Due to height restrictions, the outstretched arm of the statue that extends into a compass had to be temporarily removed. It was put back in place for the trip to Lewis. The statue is on a traveling tour marking locations related to the Underground Railroad. Delaware River and Bay officials say some escaped slaves used the Cape May Lighthouse as a guide as they rode across the bay seeking freedom. And don't forget to thank a vet for his or her service tomorrow. Veterans Day is more than a day off for many. The holiday is a time to honor all veterans and those who made the ultimate sacrifice in the armed services. Tomorrow, Delaware Technical and Community College will host a ceremony at its campus in Stanton beginning at 8 a.m. On Saturday, a Veterans Family Fun Day will be held from 9 to 1 at the Courageous Hearts Mental Health Clinic in Lincoln, while in Rehoboth Beach, an annual Veterans Day ceremony will take place at the bandstand beginning at 11 a.m. Speaking of Veterans Day, one elementary school paid tribute to veterans one day early. Students at Eisenberg Elementary School in the Colonial School District held a special program today. Children with relatives who are veterans invited them to the school to have breakfast. Superintendent Dr. Jeffrey Menzer personally thanked the vets for their service, as did State Representative Frank Cook. As the vets were escorted to the auditorium for a student-run assembly, they were greeted by other students who waved tiny American flags and pictures. It was all a heartwarming moment for the vets, who then listened to the chorus sing patriotic songs. I can't think of a better way to end our newscast as we too at DETV thank all veterans for their service. I'm Lauren Wilson. Thanks for watching, and be sure to catch us on all social media platforms and on Comcast Channel 28 every Tuesday through Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Have a great holiday weekend.